Hello everybody, welcome back. I have the first ever deck I'm going to showcase you for BT8, and as you can see from the thumbnail, it is an Eosmon deck. So of course I have to do an Eosmon deck profile for every set, because the deck is not going to die. I will not let that happen. And there's a card in BT8 that makes Eosmon just that little bit spicier. I just want to say thanks to Matt from Facebook for showing me his version of this deck. I've tweaked it, of course, to kind of suit my playstyle and hopefully suit your playstyle. Without further ado, let's have a look at our BT8 deck profile, our very first one. Now, I did proxy the cards from BT8 because they're not out until the 13th. Make sure to go to topdecktcg.com and use code BULB810 for 10% off your next purchase. Okie dokie, starting off, we are going with 4 of the Tsunomon. Before you clicked into this video, this is a black Eosmon deck. Honestly, this deck has great synergy as a whole deck. I really like this, and it's so funny because we love a good meme deck. You know, it's probably not going to top any major events anytime soon, but it's a lot of fun to play. I think you could steal some wins with it. I'm going to try and win locals with it, or at least win a few games in locals with it. For our rookies, we are going with the 4 Karamon. It just gives an extra 1000 DP on your opponent's turn, so keeps your dudes nice and big. I am playing 4 of this Karamon. So we got the promo Karamon, and we got the BT5 Karamon. With this one, you get to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and add an errata, and you can add an unidentified. So all of your Karamons are unidentified. No, we're not playing Diaboromon in this deck before you get too excited. You can add quite a bit. We're moving on to our level 4s, and this is the most important card. Second most important card in the deck, but still extremely important. We're playing 4 Kurosarumon. When digivolving, if you don't have an errata, you can just play one from your hand, which is A1. The important part of this, though, is the inheritable effect. So your other Digimon with the same name as this Digimon get Rush. Now, usually you're going to be using that in a Diaboromon deck because Diaboromon summons all those tokens that are called Diaboromon. You can kind of see where I'm going with this already, in that all of the Digimon in this deck are pretty much called Eosmon. I'm also playing 2 of the level 4 Eosmon. So on play, you can play a white tamer card, but your opponent gets to play one as well, of course. But you've also got the when attacking, you can play a white tamer card from your hand as well. The important thing, though, is just to have a decent level 4 count. So you could up this number, of course, if you want to as well. We'll get into that in just a moment. So I'm actually only playing 1 card from BT8 in my new upgraded Eosmon deck, and that is the 4 Chimeramon, and this card is the whole reason we can tie the black cards in with the Eosmon cards. So because all you need to DNA Digivolve into a Chimeramon is 2 level 4s. Basically, you just have to Digivolve up to as far as a Kurosarumon, or you can hard play him for 5 cost. That's actually not that expensive. And if you have another one of these Eosmons on board, you can just Digivolve the 2 of them together, or 2 Kurosarumons, or 2 Eosmon. Totally fine either way, and you can make your Chimeramon. But you could also just Digivolve up to a Kurosarumon and chuck the Chimeramon onto the Kurosarumon as well. If you are DNA Digivolving, don't have a Kurosarumon on board, as long as you have him in trash, it's all good. His when Digivolving effect, so even if you Digivolved on top of your Eosmon, but you had a Kurosarumon in your trash, when Digivolving, you get to add a level 5 or lower Digimon from your trash to the bottom of his Digivolution cards. Basically, you have a load of ways to get this Kurosarumon under this Chimeramon, which is what you want. You need to get this Kurosarumon under the Chimeramon so this deck works properly. I am straight up playing 12 Eosmon. 12 of our level 5 Eosmon. You're never going to be Digivolving into this dude. You're probably going to be hard playing him the majority of the time. The only time you would ever Digivolve into him if you really needed to get him on top of that Eosmon. Decent amount of Eosmon, that's all you need. For our level 6s, I'm going with the 4 of our BT6 Eosmon. If you're able to place 2 or more cards underneath her when you Digivolve into her, you can straight up delete someone on your opponent's side, which is great because especially with this Eosmon, and you're going to try and be getting your erratas out and your Manoas out as fast as possible, honestly. So, and it's not just your tamers as well, it's your opponent's tamers, so you're likely to be able to get the 3 underneath to delete something straight off the bat. You want to be Digivolving this Eosmon or your other level 6 Eosmon. So I've got this one as well. I'm just playing 2 of the BT7. Now you can play around with ratios as well. They're not hugely important what way you do it, but you want to be Digivolving one or the other on top of the Chimeramon that has the Kurosarumon underneath it, because you've Digivolved, you're in this position, you've got a good few other dudes underneath, whatever. Every one of your Eosmons Eosmons that you bring out from here on out, as long as this is on the field, now have Rush. Okay, my hand is 4 Eosmons, and I have 1 Eosmon on board, and I've got this dude on board. Now, because I have this Cursarimon, I can attack, bring out another Eosmon, trigger any effect you need to trigger. This Eosmon now has Rush, so you know, Eosmon, bring out another Eosmon. This Eosmon now has Rush, you know, so you can Eosmon, bring out another Eosmon, again triggering any effects you have on board if you haven't triggered them already. So it's like, rather than an endless loop like you do in Lilith Loop, you've got endless Rush, depending on how many Eosmon you have in your hand. So as soon as you've built up your stack, say you just leave it on the board and just keep attacking with your Eosmons. I have 2 of the win rate 60% just to help Digivolve into this Eosmon, honestly, because it is a 5 cost, but it is good removal. So it's just a handy one to make it a 3 cost instead. Then I'm playing 4 of the Manoa. Great card for cycling through your resources. You want to get as many Eosmons as possible, so anytime you drop an Eosmon, you're able to trigger her, and so you get to add any tamer and any Eosmon. That way you're getting your resources in your hand fast enough. I'm playing 4 of the errata because extra memory is always good when you have any of the unidentified dudes in your trash, and you also have extra tamers on board for this Eosmon. And then finally I'm playing 4 Analog Youth because again you want to cycle through your deck as fast as possible. You also need stuff in the trash, so you want some Eosmons in the trash for this Eosmon, and you want some identified in the trash, so you have the capacity to get extra memory from errata. So this is your Eosmon deck. Like I said, it's really good, because even if you use one of these dudes and bring out one of these Eosmons while you have your stack on board, this guy also has Rush, which is just, it's crazy. I love it. It's a very innovative deck. I think it has the potential to be great. If you're playing around with it, let me know what you're doing with it, because I love this. I love this deck. This deck is fantastic, and I did win some games testing with it last night, so I promise you it's not jank. I was testing against Mastamon, the new BT8 Mastamon deck, which I will drop my deck profile in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to have a great day, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.